be here with you. This is High Performance Live, where we talk about tips, tricks. I don't know why that I'm getting that twisted. Tips, tricks, tools, and strategies to help you and I become those high performers that God has created us to be. I go live like this every Friday, 6:30 p.m. West African time. Today, I'm coming on quite late because of some things I had to have handled. But I promised myself that I will still come on live, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, just to check on you, my dear high performer, and to find out how are you doing. And so I'm here. I'm glad that I made it here with you again. It's another Friday evening. It's already Friday evening, almost 9 p.m. West African time, Nigerian time. I don't know what time it is where you are, but just want to do a very quick check-in just to make sure to find out how you are doing. How are you, and how has been your week? I hope you had a wonderful week. I hope you had a productive week, a profitable week, a purposeful week, and that's why I'm here. Since it's not my regular time, I'm still thinking of maybe still doing a quick check-in tomorrow. Since I wasn't able to come on at this time, I come on live today. But I'm not quite sure. That's why I said, okay, you know what, let's make it happen still this evening, even if it's for a couple of minutes. You know how we do it, right? Every time we come on a live session like this, what we always do is to do our high performance review for the week. So let's quickly do it. What are you grateful for this week? What is the lesson that you are learning this week? And what are you looking forward to in the upcoming week? Those are the three things that make up our high performance review every time we come on High Performance Live like this. What you are grateful for, the lesson that you are learning, and what you are looking forward to in the upcoming week. For me, very quickly, I'm always grateful for the opportunity to be here with you. That's why I'm here, despite the fact that I'm quite late and it's going to be very short and sharp, but just to make sure that I'm here to check on you and to make sure to find out how you are doing. Let's not forget that we are on this journey together. Even as we're coming to the end of this year, 2023, we'll keep encouraging ourselves, keep charging ourselves, even as we push on this journey to become everything that God has created us to be, to finish this year, 2023, strong, and to make sure that we start the year 2024 stronger. And oh, yes, Bruce Wayne, great to have you here. Welcome, Bruce Wayne. How are you doing? And welcome. Thank you for showing up, Bruce Wayne. Even though it's not the usual time that I show up, and I'm here and you are here again, just want to say a very big thank you, Bruce Wayne. Welcome. And the second thing is the lesson that I'm learning this week. And that lesson is, have you been good this year? It's a very, very interesting lesson. Have you been good this year? And is what I'm going to be talking about in a couple of minutes, very straight and very short and sharp. Have you been good this year? And what I'm looking forward to in the upcoming week is the Expert Empire webinar. I've been talking about it for a while. You are an expert, you are a coach, you are a consultant, you are a thought leader, just somebody that wants to share your knowledge and wisdom with the world, want to gain more people, want to earn more money, want to increase your sphere of influence and impact. That's what the Expert Empire webinar is all about. I'll be talking about it for a while. I'll make sure to put the link to the details for that webinar in the description below once I'm done with this live session. And so that's my own high performance review for the week. What's yours? I would really love to know. Type it in the comments section. What are you grateful for this week? What is that lesson that you are learning this week? And what are you looking forward to in the upcoming week? What's your goal? What's your target? What's that project that you are working on? I really would like to hear from you. So very quickly, I said I'll be talking about, have you been good this year? Have you been good this year? It was a little while back. I watched the third installment of the movie Equalizer. I don't know if you've watched it. Lovely movie. The third installment. I have seen the part one. I've seen the part two, and the part three came out sometime this year. It's been out for a while, so I guess probably you may have seen it. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. It's a nice movie. And there's a scene in the movie where the actor Robert McCall, played by Denzel Washington, is shot, and he loses consciousness because he's losing blood. And this very kind policeman finds him and rescues him and takes him to this neighborhood doctor, an elderly gentleman, to get him treated. And when Robert McCall, played by Denzel Washington, comes to and sees that he's in a strange bed, all patched up and all that, he's wondering what's happening. And then the elderly man walks up to him and says, "Oh, so and so person rescued you." The only question I just want to ask you is that this person rescued you, but my question to you is that, are you a good man or are you a bad man? I really would like to know. And the Washington looks at him all shaken up and still groggy from all the pain and the treatment, and says, "I don't know." And for me, that's just so instructive, right? And I've just been thinking about it for a while. How as we are coming to the end of the year and we are taking stock of our lives, there's always that kind of question that comes up in our hearts and in our minds at this time like this. And it just, as I was thinking about it, I just remembered the very popular question that Santa asks kids at the end of year period, during the holiday season, during the Christmas season. And he always asks kids, have you been good this year? Have you been good to your parents? Have you been good to your mom? Have you been a good kid? And then before he hands them all out their presents. And it's interesting that as high performers, not even just as high performers, everybody asks that question, especially as we come to the end of the year and as we prepare for the new year. How has been my performance this year? How have I been as a person this year? Have I been good this year? And we really, really would like to be able to answer that question. So many times our very first instinct is to check, okay, how hard did I work this year? Was I a very, very hard worker? Was I a very diligent person this year? And you find a lot of those statements online, how you talk about how I'm the hardest worker in the room, or no one will outwork me. But many times when you have such a yardstick like that, you're now wondering, okay, so how much is actually good enough? How much of the work do I need to put in to actually qualify to be a good person? How much is too much? How much is too little? And how much is just right? And then, okay, we now begin to look at, okay, maybe things like, okay, apart from hard work, we look at, okay, how much have I achieved? How smart have I been this year? How successful have I been this year? We try to look at, okay, what are the things that, we have achieved? And, we are looking at all those things. And the interesting thing about it is that no matter how much we have achieved, there's always somebody else that has achieved more than we have achieved. And then, okay, we say, okay, maybe it's about the fact that, okay, as a man, have I been a good provider, for my family? A good man is a good provider, we say to ourselves. And then you now begin to ask yourself, okay, so what happens during those times when you were not actually able to provide those things that you'd have wanted to provide for your family or provide for your loved ones? And what even actually happens when you do provide those things, but, you are in that place where you feel like you're not being appreciated for all the effort that you are putting in? And so all those things are going on in our head. How much have I worked? Have I been a good provider? How smart and how successful have I been, this year? We're trying to put all those things together to measure up our goodness, to measure up, our performance, and to be able to say, okay, this year I have done well. This year I have done excellently. But one thing I'm realizing more and more is that if we are going to end the year strong, if we are going to finish this year 2023 strong on a high note, and even start the year 2024 stronger, then we need to look beyond our achievements. We need to look beyond how hard we have worked, how much we have provided, the level of success that we have achieved, if we are going to finish this year strong. It's like that saying, you probably might have heard it, that you don't anchor a ship to itself, you throw the anchor into the deep blue sea. And so what it simply means is that the measurement of our goodness, the measurement of our performance needs to be something outside of our achievements. It has to be about something bigger. What we really, really need is grace. If we are going to finish this race of finishing this year strong and starting the next year stronger, then one thing that we need is grace. And this grace that I'm talking about is not just something that just falls from heaven or that falls into your lap or something that you just stumble into because of how much you pray. What I'm talking about is that there is a kind of attitude that we really need to have. It's about our attitude. There is the kind of attitude that we need to have if we are going to finish this year on a very, very strong note, on a very powerful note, and start the year stronger. That's what it is. That's what it means to be a good person. And for me, I just believe that a good person is somebody who has the attitude of trust. A good person, if we are going to measure our performance with the right yardsticks, this is the right yardstick that we need to measure our performance, even as we take stock, as we come to the end of this year and start the new year. And it's this attitude of trust, where T there stands for a good person is somebody who is teachable. Is somebody who is teachable. Are you looking for the right measuring sticks to measure your performance, even as we get to the end of this year and start the new year? The question is, have you been a teachable person? How much of a teachable person have you been this year? Have you been a teachable person this year? And don't worry, there is still the opportunity, even as we know we begin to take stock as we come to the end of this year and we start the new year. What is important is not how hard you work or all the great accomplishments you have achieved or how much of a good provider that you have been, even though all those are great and fantastic. But one thing that we always need to have at the back of our minds is that our teachability is very, very important. Many times the reason why we struggle is because we get familiar. We get familiar with our family, we get familiar with our friends, we get familiar with even the work that we do. We get familiar with ourselves, we get familiar with our gifts, with our talents, with our strengths. And my own charge and my own encouragement to you is that we need to come back to that place of curiosity. If we are going to finish this year strong and start the year stronger, you and I need to come back to that place of curiosity, to be childlike again, to look at our relationships with fresh eyes. We look at our finances with fresh eyes, to look at everything around us with fresh eyes. It's about looking at your spouse, looking at your partner, looking at your friend, that person that means the world to you, looking at them the same way that you looked at them the very first time you saw them. And you know how you looked at them, right? When you walked into that restaurant, when you walked into that place and you saw that drop dead gorgeous lady for the very first time, or you saw that dashing young man for the very first time. That's what I'm talking about, is to come back to that place of curiosity, that attitude of curiosity, to not allow familiarity take over, the way we think or the way we look at things. When it comes to our work, to be able to look at that work with the same eyes, with the same attitude that we had the very first time that we received our appointment letter. And you know how it was for you, right? That after going through the series of interviews, after going through a series of tests, you finally got that appointment letter. You were over the moon that day. You were excited. You were excited about doing that job. But now what happens is that you have gotten familiar. It's now more of a drag. No, you've lost the verve. You've lost the excitement. And so that's just what it's about, is coming back to that place of teachability, coming back to that place of curiosity. The second thing is a good man, a good woman, a good person is that person. We've talked about the fact that you need to be teachable. The second thing is, why is that thing escaping my mind now? The second thing is teachability. First, we have teachability. The second thing is rest. Yes, thank God, I remember. A good man and a good woman is a person who is at rest. And when I say at rest, what I mean is I'm not talking about necessarily physical rest where you do nothing. What I'm talking about is that whatever you do, even as we come to the end of this year, whatever you do, have the attitude of calmness. Be calm, because there are two things that happen. Sometimes when we see the fact that we're coming to the end of the year, sometimes we have the attitude of, okay, you know what, I'm just going to coast to the end of the year, and until the next year starts before I start engaging with the year again. Or it can also be the fact that, we now discover that oh my God, what's happening? It's few weeks to the end of the year. What have I been doing with my life? And then, we are just on the run. And, somehow, it's like the spirit of the season. There's always so much activity at the end of the year. It's like everybody is now realizing, it's injury time. I need to hurry up and make sure that I end the year with a bang. So that's when, all the projects that we have been working on, we go out and we bring them out, and we start making phone calls, we start sending emails, we start sending messages, just to make sure that we are busy and about to make something happen. But one thing that we now begin to discover is that sometimes some of the things don't actually go according to plan. And there's that temptation to get agitated, to get frustrated, to be offended with people, especially when, we are making the calls, they are not answering our calls, we are sending the emails and the messages, and they are not responding. That particular person that we hope to come through for us ended up disappointing us. There is that tendency, to want to be upset, to want to be frustrated. My own charge and my own encouragement is to you is that whatever you do in this particular season, just be calm, be at rest, don't get agitated, let go of offense, let go of every, there's this particular app that I use. It has helped me a lot in terms of meditation. It's called the Daily Calm. If you've not heard about it, you can check it out here on YouTube. It's called the Daily Calm. Very, very powerful meditation app. And one of the days, the meditation was all about, letting go of the shoulds, letting go of every form of entitlement mentality, letting go of judgment, and being patient with people. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. It's coming back to that place where, right now the world really always wants us to pass judgments, to judge people. Oh, this person is like this person is like that. Oh, because we call them and they do not pick our call. We want to just make a quick snap judgment about the person, about how they are, about how they behave. It's coming back to that place that, just let us let people be. Do not judge anybody. Do not be offended by anybody. Do not let go of the shoulds of how anybody should look, talk, and behave, especially towards you, or especially towards me. Just let people be people. Be patient with them. Let go of judgments. Really, if we are going to finish this year strong and start the new year stronger, that's just my own encouragement to you, that whatever you do, be at rest. The third thing is, a good man, a good woman, a good person is somebody who embraces the unknown. Is somebody who embraces the unknown. How do you know that you have done well this year? How do you, if you are really, really going to rate your performance this year, is how much of your willingness to embrace the unknown. That's the yardstick you should measure. Use as a measuring stick. Not all the other things that we have talked about, but about your willingness to embrace the unknown. And even as we get to end of this year and as we start the new year, that's what needs to be ringing in your mind as a high performer. How is my willingness? How will I rate my willingness to embrace the unknown on a scale of 1 to 10? That's what it's all about. Because with the opportunities are going to be there. But one thing that we need to always keep reminding ourselves as high performance is that you can't wait until you see the whole staircase before you take a step. You can't wait until you have everything figured out before you take the very first step. You have to be willing to take the very first step on that staircase, even if you don't see the entire staircase, even if you don't see the entire picture. Clarity only comes with engagement. It's all about coming back to that attitude of saying, what is going to be my measuring stick of my performance, even as we get to the end of this year and start the new year? It's about your willingness to embrace the unknown. If you and I are going to be the very best version of ourselves, if we are going to be everything God has created us to be, then we need to be willing to embrace the unknown. And I love this quote by Patrick Overton. I think I've shared it here before. He says that when you get to the edge of the darkness of all that you know, and that you are about to take a step into the unknown. Faith is knowing that one of two things will definitely happen. Either there will be something solid for you to stand on, or you will be taught to fly. And that's just what it's about. That if we are going to soar, if we are going to fly, we are going to soar into the end of this, the remaining part of this year, the few weeks to the end of this year, 2023, and soar into the year 2024 powerfully, then we must be willing to embrace the unknown. There are going to be opportunities, there are going to be ideas that will be dropping in your heart, coming into your head, that you are going to be wondering, where is this coming from? How am I even going to do this? How am I going to figure this thing out? My own charge and my own encouragement to you is that don't throw that idea away. Don't throw that opportunity away. Dare to take a step. Dare to engage with it. As you engage with it, the clarity will come. The way to go about it will come. The third thing we have talked about, a good person is a person that is teachable, that is at rest, that embraces the unknown. The fourth thing is a good person is a person that has the attitude of service. Service is the way to go. Service is the way to go. We've always said it here. Over and over again on High Performance Live, right? We are high performers, we are high achievers, we are role models, we are leaders. And one thing that role models and leaders do is that role models and leaders serve. One thing that high performers do is that they serve. Even as we are coming into the end of this year and as we are going into the new year, we must keep reminding ourselves about having the attitude of service. And when I talk about the attitude of service, or when I talk about service, or I hear people talk about service, for a very long time, I'm always all about, okay, what service, I've got that on lockdown. Talk to me about something else. Tell me something I don't know already. But these days, I'm realizing more and more that when it comes to this thing about service, if you are overly excited about that word called service, then you probably need to check it. You are probably not serving. And for me, this, I'm talking to myself right now. If no offense to you, right? But while we're talking to ourselves and telling ourselves some hard truths, that if you are really, really too excited about that thing called service, you might need to check it. You are probably not serving. Because when we talk about service, we're talking about something that is not fancy. We're talking about something that is not going to be convenient. We're talking about something that at the onset you might not even really, really want to do. It's great to serve somebody that is notable, somebody that is important, to serve a VIP, to serve somebody that can help your destiny, like we like to say here in Nigerian parlance. There's somebody that that can help you, that can promote you. It's great to serve somebody like that. But what about the people that can't necessarily help you, can't actually repay you, can't actually do anything, to help you get to that next level that you really want to get to? That's the true test of service. And it's coming back to that place to say to ourselves that, who am I serving right now that can't pay me back, that can't really help me in a way that I would really, really desire to be helped? Who is that person who I'm serving right now that it's not so convenient, it's not so fancy? Nobody is patting me on my back to tell me how great of a work I'm doing. Oh, no, there are no bright lights, no screaming fans, no shooting stars, but I'm diligent to do this thing. That's what service it's really, really all about. A good person, a good man, a good woman. How do you know that you have been good this year? How do you know that you are going to be good as you end this year and begin the next year 2024? Is by having that attitude of service. And then the final thing is, a good person, a good man, a good woman is somebody who trusts God. Remember, be teachable, be at rest, embrace the unknown, have an attitude of service. And then the final thing is, just put your trust in God. That's just what I'm going to say. Just put your trust in God. A good person is someone who puts their trust in God. I remember I had this conversation a little while back with a friend, and she was telling me, and she says to me, You know what? All the good men are taken. All the good men are taken. There are no good men. All the good men are taken. And I said to her, I said, my sister, see, let me just tell you the truth. There are no good men anywhere. Oh. There are only men who God is helping. Allow me to be a little bit raw. There are only men who God is covering their ashiri. That's a local Yoruba dialect, Nigeria, Yoruba dialect in Nigeria. For they are only good. They are only men who God is just covering their secrets. I love the way a man I love so much puts it. His name is David, Bishop David Abioye. He says that grace is when God covers your errors and colors your efforts. And so at the end of the day, that's just what it is. If we are going to end this year strong and start the year 2024 on a very powerful note, it's all about putting our trust in God. He is the one that covers our errors and colors our efforts. None of us is perfect. All of us, we are still on this journey. We are still on this journey to becoming everything that God has created us to be. There is none of us that is perfect. There is none of us that has it all figured out. The only person that holds the future, that knows the future really, that has the inside information is God. He is the one that knows everything about you, that knows everything about me. He's the one that knows his perfect will and purpose and counsel for our lives. It's like how the wise King Solomon says it. He says that it pays to take life seriously. Things work out when you put your trust in God. And that's, for me, that's so powerful. You say it pays to take life seriously. Things work out when you put your trust in God. And so that's just my own charge and my own encouragement to you, that if we are going to make the most of the remaining part of this year and just end the year on a powerful note and start even the year 2024 on even a more powerful note, it's about putting your trust in God. It's about me putting my trust in God. Um, one thing that we need to remember is that he's never late. He will never mismanage our lives. He's the person that said that better is the end of something, better is the end of a matter than the beginning thereof. One thing that is sure is that he's definitely going to make sure that we finish this year on a very powerful note. He will crown all our efforts with success. Everything that we desire, even as we come to the end of this year, I know that his grace, will definitely speak on our behalf. And so that's it from me. How have you been good this year? I'm sure that I promised it was going to be short and sharp. Have you been good this year? Remember, it's all about being teachable. It's all about being at rest, be calm, embrace the unknown, have the attitude of service, and put your trust in God. Do your best, prepare for the worst, trust God to bring the victory. That's also from the very wise King Solomon. Do your best, prepare for the worst, trust God to bring the victory. And I know that the victory is what will be our testimony even as we end this year, and is the victory that will also be our testimony even as we begin the year 2024. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I apologize again for coming on late today. I know that you still found this very, very helpful, found this very insightful. Thank you, Bruce Wayne, for coming on. You are awesome. You are the best. Thank you, everyone that joined, that came on. Wishing you a very, very restful weekend. Look out for all the new content coming out on Sunday as we start a brand new week, brand new newsletter, brand new long form video, all the daily shots that will be coming throughout the week, just moving us closer on our journey as high performers towards becoming everything that God has created us to be. Don't forget, you can always send me a message here on YouTube, or you can check me out on Instagram at Kayode Kolade. Is the same name. Follow me there, send me a DM, let me know what you are working on. What are your questions? What are those projects that you are working on? Remember, I am here for you every step of the way. Till I see you again, do take care. Your greatness is very sure.